What's up, everyone? Today we're going to be creating an email sequence using Smartlead.ai. We're going to be taking this list of C-level contacts. These are individuals who work for holding companies, property management, some senior living. These are all qualified. I've already verified that they're valid emails, no catch-alls, no invalids. We got about 200 contacts total. And we also have some personalized strings that I'm going to be inserting into the emails, as you can see here. So I'll show you what that looks like in a second, but let's jump right into it and start by creating our campaign. So the first thing we want to do is upload our CSV file of all of our contacts. We want to turn these all off right here, and then we go ahead and start by basically filling in all the columns of your spreadsheet that you want to carry on and have Smartlead save. I go and make sure that all of them are custom fields here. So if I actually go and click into the contact profile of any of the individuals that I upload here, I'll actually see all of these pieces of information. For example, direct phone number. I'm not going to have this as the phone number since I have two different phone numbers associated with this one contact. I'm going to go ahead and change this to custom field. So when I look at the contact card later on, I'll be able to see direct phone number and mobile phone as two different individual fields. And this is important if you're integrating a CRM with your Smartlead. And you can also insert these different custom fields directly into your email sequence, which I'm going to do with first string and second string, two fields that I created using ChatGPT and make.com. So let's go ahead. LinkedIn contact profile, I actually have that as the LinkedIn profile. Doesn't really matter, but that's something I tend to do. And I typically always fill these all in with custom, except for company name, website, LinkedIn, first name, last name, email field. Just you never know if you're going to need some of this information down the line. I like to have it all there. Once we have this all set up, save and next. Okay, so 7 of these emails I actually have blocked. Maybe they're clients that I blocked in the system, or they are companies that I blocked for another reason. The rest is looking pretty good. I'm going to verify these emails again. I found that Smartlead's email verification is pretty good, and I actually benefit from verifying twice. Okay, so let's start by making our email sequence here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this and take some of the information that I already have from my other campaigns, like the first names and some of the syntax that I already have in these. So, for example, I like to copy and paste this over. I don't want to have to go write that out again. So this is what syntax looks like. Smartlead is automatically going to rotate between sincerely, best, and best regards at random. We'll add another one at the top here. Hey, hi, hey, close the bracket. You can insert variables right here or in there, or you can begin by typing this and they'll automatically pop up. This email editing is not great in Smartlead. Sometimes this pops up undefined for some reason. It usually happens to me every single time. So Smartlead needs to improve on this. Happen again. All right. Let's see if this works. Good. All right. Hi, hey, first name. So If you take a look in here at my created strings, first and second string, these are going to be the first 4 sentences of my first email that I send out. The reason I personalize this first email is because you look more legit, less spammy, less like a robot if you make it look like you did your own research and you weren't just sending this to thousands of different employees. So by having these customized strings, you're more likely to get replies, more likely to book meetings. And, I could do this for every single email in the sequence, but I think doing it for the first one is sufficient. So let's take a look at what these look like. So hi, hey, first name. I noticed 1788 Holdings has grown to 25 properties across several states. With that kind of geographic spread, hauling costs from providers like Waste Management or Republic can really add up. So I'm selling a consulting service right here. We work with companies to reduce the costs of their waste and recycling. So what I'm doing is I'm pointing out something about their company in the first sentence, and then I'm transitioning to how that can be a problem as it pertains to waste. And then in the second string, which comes directly after, I basically introduce our service and how we can solve the problem that I introduced in the first string here. So, with that geographic spread, waste costs are going to be high. ICS can then solve that problem. What we do is we tackle this by auditing your existing contracts and negotiating directly with your current hauler to uncover savings opportunities. And then I go in a little bit more about how we solve that problem. I have this set up for every single one where it's talking about either how big the company is, property wise, how many properties they have, or where they're located geographically. And then I transition to how that means that they could be spending a lot more than they should be on waste. And then I frame us, ICS, as the problem solvers. I have this done in make.com where I have Perplexity search the company website, pull all the information they can about the company, whether it's on their website, on their LinkedIn, or just on the web. And then I have ChatGPT create these strings based on what I'm asking of it. And as you can see, there's a common theme here. In ChatGPT, I actually give some very specific examples, and ChatGPT is great at replicating them for the different companies. So what we're going to do for this first email is put in the first string, second string, and then we're going to do a CTA, a call to action, directly after the second string. Basically, the email is going to look just like this. Okay. So I'm going to copy and paste this. This is from a different campaign where we targeted real estate investment trusts. This is going to be a similar one, targeting holding companies. So we're going to go ahead and put in a variable right here. It wants us to go up there. Let's, what did I use for the subject line? Waste review. Keep it simple, straightforward. You don't want to be too selly on this. You want to avoid using spam words. I do use some spam words in here, but it's not a big deal as long as you don't overuse them. So these are my different variables right here, and these were all the custom fields that I uploaded when I imported my leads in the first step. So my first string is right here. We go ahead and click in that. I want my second string to be its own paragraph. Second string right here. And we're just going to go ahead and save that, and I'm going to show you what this looks like down here. So save and next here. Before I do this, I'm just going to show you what these emails look like. Yep. Maybe I got to do these first. Let's go ahead. I'm going to be sending these from a tag, Brian. He's my colleague. So Brian, apply all. Yes, we have 304 total inboxes. under 2 different domains, and each one sends 2 emails. So that's our strategy right now. It's been working so far. But email changes a lot. We send every 62 minutes. I start at 8:05 in the morning, end at 6 p.m. Usually I don't have enough emails to be sending at 6. And then New York time zone. Okay, we're going to start this tomorrow. And then we're going to reach out to 102 people per day. Okay, campaign settings. We're going to name this holding companies. We're going to stop sending messages when the lead replies to a message. We're going to do randomized email variant and spin tax distribution. So essentially that just means that the different spin tax that we inserted into the email, that first email only had spin tax for the hi, hey up top, and then for the closer, sincerely, best regards, signature. So you didn't see a lot of spin tax there, but when I create the second and third email, you'll see a little bit more spin tax. We're going to send in plain text. Okay, always going to do that. We're always going to do follow-ups here. So when we're limited to the number of emails that need to be sent, instead of sending a new email, we're going to send the follow-ups if those times are interfering. Auto pause if one of the leads from the same domain replies. Yes, we're going to do that. We're going to stay away from enhanced email sending and delivery. We don't want to be sending only to Gmail or only to Outlook based on where our emails are based out of. We have third-party emails, so we don't have Gmail or Outlook. We stay away from this. I don't want to categorize my leads with AI. I'll just do it myself. High bounce rate, auto protection. I never have problems with high bounce rate, so I'm not going to touch that. My rates are meant to be pretty low volumes. I'm going to enable this, and that'll be it for me. Save those settings, save and next. Let's take a look at what this first email looks like. So it was the first string, the second string, and then my CTA, which had 3 different CTA options. So this all looks pretty clean. I double checked to make sure that the first and second strings were actually pretty good and no errors in them. So normally I would go through about 15 or 20 of these and spot check them, make sure that they're okay. But I already did that with the first and second strings that ChatGPT came up for me. But let's take a look here at what this email looks like. Hey, Thomas. I noticed AEI Capital manages over 200 healthcare and retail properties across 44 states. With a footprint that wide, high waste hauling costs from providers like Waste Management or Stericycle could really add up. ICS helps by auditing your current waste contracts and negotiating directly with existing haulers to uncover savings opportunities. We streamline the entire process, lowering expenses while giving your team the confidence that every invoice is accurate and optimized. Would you be open to me sharing a bit more detail on how our program works? So as you can see, this CTA that we're using down here, I'm not asking for them to hop on a call. They don't know much about us. That sort of call to action doesn't really work anymore. It's been abused. We want it to be a little bit colder. People are more likely to respond and say, sure, send me over a little bit more information than they are to reply, yes, I will hop on a call with you, to the random person that just sent me an email. Unfortunately, asking someone to hop on a call just doesn't work anymore. This is a better way to do it. If I was selling a different service, I'd consider sending over something else that's beneficial, like maybe offering some sort of value here. Like if you were selling social media, you create social media posts. Hey, can I send you over a social media post I made for you? People are way more likely to be like, yeah, I'll take the free social media post that you create for me. Sure. that kind of gets you in the door. Asking to get on a call just doesn't work. Okay, so let's finish off the campaign. We're going to do 3 total emails here. Every 3 days, we're going to send an email. We're going to do 3 emails total. The second email, I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste our second email from over here. I'll talk you through what this looks like. Hi, hey, good morning. You can add good morning in here as long as you know that it's going to be sent in the morning. I'm pretty positive it will be. I'm actually going to go ahead and make sure that it is sent only in the mornings by going into the setup schedule. We're going to go to noon, just like that. Okay. Okay, so second email. I wanted to follow up from my last email and add some context. Beyond negotiating better rates with existing haulers, we also audit invoices each month to prevent hidden increases from slipping through, the reason waste prices skyrocket. Also, wanted to add we are only compensated by sharing in the savings we create for you. And then, so I actually got to change up this CTA here. This past email, or this past sequence over here, I was actually taking a colleague from the company that these people were in, and I was adding that name in here. So I would use someone from their company that they probably knew, and I was adding it into the email. Looks like we did our research. I didn't do that with this sequence, so we're gonna have to change the CTA here. Let's wait on that. I'm gonna go ahead and throw the third email in, talk you through that. Copy and paste. Hi, good morning. I'm gonna add hey in there. Hey, first name. Since I haven't heard back from you, I'll make this my last email. All we need is a recent waste invoice to determine if company name is overpaying. If given the green light, we negotiate directly with your waste haulers to reduce costs, and the only way we're compensated is by sharing in the savings we generate. Would you like me to review an invoice before I close out this outreach? Pretty good. Again, this is a little bit hotter. You're asking them to send over a confidential invoice, but I've had pretty good responses with this one. It's not too pushy, and it is basically closing it out pretty cleanly. So let's go ahead and fix this CTA over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our handy friend ChatGPT to come up with variations of potential CTAs I could be using. Okay. I'm not seeing my folders. There we are. Okay. Email outreach. I have an email folder with a bunch of files in there of our case studies, some email marketing information, and a bunch of other stuff that will help any conversation in this chat be more informed on what I'm looking for, what our services are, basically help me get an output that I like. Okay. We will go to, let's go. As you can see here, I already did this before, but we will take this one. The first CTA we use, I want something similar. Here is a CTA from a sequence targeting holding companies. I would like you to generate 5 CTA options for me to choose from that are cold and different from the 3 options in this spin tax CTA. Okay. Let's see what it comes up with. Here are 5 fresh cold CTA options. I like this one right here. Is it worth sharing a high-level snapshot of how we work? Love that. And let's bring this over to our spin tax creator. Generate 2 to 3 spin tax options for this CTA. Looks like ChatGPT wants to be slow today. Let's refresh this. Maybe I got too many tabs open. Oh, there we go. Would it make sense to send over a quick overview of our process? Open to me sharing a brief outline of how we work. So I guess these are pretty similar to the first CTA that we had. We can get rid of this now. So that's in perfect spin tax format, as I already have given this chat an exact format how to create that spin tax. So let's compare these two. I just want to make sure I'm not saying the same CTA. Can I send you a quick review of how the program works? Open to me sharing a brief outline of how we work. All right, let's review this. I think we're pretty good here. We're gonna add good morning here. Good morning. It's one of my favorite starts of an email. Good morning, Jeffrey. Okay. Final review. So the first ones I know are good. Let's look at the second and thirds. So I wanted to circle back and share additional background. Beyond negotiating terms with your haulers, we also monitor invoices regularly to stop quiet price escalations. The reason trash costs are so high. I also wanted to add, the only way we are compensated is by splitting the savings that we deliver. Open to me sharing a brief outline of how we work. The reason trash costs can be so high is what I want to change that to. Let's go back in there. The reason trash costs can be so high. Can be so high. Good. Save that. Final review. Email 2. I wanted to circle back and share beyond negotiating better rates with existing haulers, we also audit invoices each month to prevent hidden increases from slipping through. The reason trash costs skyrocket. I also wanted to add, the only way we are compensated is by splitting the savings that we create for you. Is it worth sharing a high-level snapshot of how we work? Would it make sense to send over a quick overview of our process? Open to me sharing a brief outline of how we work. So, cold CTA, these all look pretty good. Because I used this email in a previous sequence, I don't need to spot check it as much. Let's look at the third email. Since I haven't heard back, I'll make this my last email. All we need is a recent invoice to determine if Arnell is overpaying. Arnell is the company. If given the green light, we negotiate directly with your existing waste haulers to reduce costs, and the only way we're compensated is by sharing in the savings we generate. Would you like me to review an invoice before I close out this outreach? So I don't have to spot check this as well because this is an email I've already used before. All right. So I hope you learned how to put together an email campaign sequence. If you have any questions about email campaigns or putting together a lead list of personalized strings of text or anything like that, hit the comments. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thank you.